Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Unshakable Soul podcast. We are on episode 54. And ladies and gents, we have a very special guest with us today, Tamina Paris. I have a nice introduction here because this is just going to be a very cool conversation. So Tamina is a former touring dancer with Lady Gaga and choreographer for Drag Race winner Queen Priyanka. Tamina Paris leads Exalted Expression Modern Mystery School, where she teaches women to transmit massive evolutionary codes through immersive theater rituals. Through Pussy Church and her temple dancer initiations, she guides women to transform their bodies into instruments of divine transmission, helping them enter rooms carrying a clear I am signal of their work. As a modern priestess, she ventures into the unknown to find the gold of truth. Tamina teaches how to activate transformation through presence alone. Through her work, she empowers women to embody the many faces of the feminine, awakening as the goddess incarnate to inspire collective evolution. Welcome, Tamina Paris, on the show.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, yeah. There's so much in you that I want to dive into and that I want people to listen to your story, to hear your own journey in creating Shakti dancer, in your journey in dance and performing with Lady Gaga with these big figures, and also your journey just in performing and dance and the divine feminine in general. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time, and I'm excited for what is to unfold in this conversation. So let's begin, starting with telling us a little bit about how you personally entered into the dance performance scene. Where did it all begin for you?
Honestly, okay, well, I entered the dance performance scene. I worked professionally as a dancer starting at 9 years old. Um, I would say it sounds so cheesy, but like I was born dancing. Like literally 2, 3 years old. There's video footage of me dancing on camera, like already commanding the stage, like the presence, like already you see me like slide down the arm of the chair. The music slows down, and so do I. And I'm like, this, like I have the footage, and I'm like, this. And then everyone pauses and is like, what's this little girl doing? And then I'm like, what? So it was like from the beginning, from the earliest ages, everyone knew Tamina as the dancer, the performer, the diva, the one who wants the camera on her to capture whatever comes through her in the moment. That's where dance began for me. And it's been and my relationship to it has deepened, has evolved. What has been innate for me, my journey has been, can I voice consciously what is this process? What is dance actually uncovering? Um, and to me, that has been my journey because at first it was annoying because I'm like, it just is, embodiment dance, it just is, its existence. And what I'm learning is that it's the unique thread that I'm here to convey and explain and transmit, yes, through the body, but also to guide others with cues. How can they find the magic and dance that have been born into?
Yeah. No, I can see how that could be maybe a bit annoying of something that comes so natural to you being like, how can you not live this way? And starting to see that, well, people actually don't live that way in this freedom of embodiment, of joy, of pain, of pleasure, of everything that's coming through. And this somatic intelligence, you can say, what a gift you have. And having that, okay, how can we bridge this? How can I bring this magic to the world? It's so beautiful. am diving deeper into performance. Now, I'm gonna anchor into performance for a moment because we talked about this a bit before. There's something that comes to mind and a belief, perhaps in my mind, yes, and perhaps in others, of what performance is. What's your take on performance?
My take on performance is that it's an opportunity to actually transmit truth on a broad scale. So, performance is like a spotlight on you to provide an offering through art. It's gotten how do I say this? It's gotten a bad rep, because people have been taking performance as an opportunity to put on a mask, to hide, to go into autopilot, to be something that they're not. However, even in those moments, at least for me too, because I'm very attuned to truth, like when someone's lying on stage, to me, it's actually quite apparent. So if you are false on stage, if you are hiding on stage, you can see that too. So for me, performance actually like it amplifies the truth, whether or not you're aware of it or not. So you step on stage, we're seeing you. We're seeing the uncomfortability. We're seeing the liberation. We're seeing also the journey from uncomfortability into like finding it,
Mm,
like very real human aspect of like letting yourself be seen and like finding like what is the moment when you are actually moved by life or when the music actually touches you or you actually like let go and like let yourself be taken by the moment. Like that's performance to me because I can literally actually see all of that. And for those who become curious and attuned to like the human expression of humanity, you start to see it too. If you really just pause and be present with the moment, you recognize that the stage is transparent.
I want to get deeper into here. So you're basically sharing the journey of contraction and expansion and everything in between. Like I'm contracting and the fact that I'm hiding perhaps something, my truth, I'm holding and protecting. Like I don't want to be seen. And the moment where it's like, boof. Can you take us through that journey for you particularly, pulling on your experience being on stage with Lady Gaga and all the other stages you've been on?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I first touched a stage on at 9 years old. So I've gotten quite, I guess, accustomed to going through the waves of stage fright and contraction and nervousness. Um, some people shut down in those instances. And that's why I feel performance is such an important life skill because you get to face the moments when you are up against immense pressure, the unknown, you don't know what's going to happen next, your emotions are running very high. And can you still show up? Can you still like, can you still like remember the moves or can you still like remember your body and not lock up? So my journey with that is I have been faced with like immense pressure on stage, like things like we're recording live one time for imagine for like an award show. We're doing it once and it's on live air across nations. Like I'm
Mm.
talking like Victoria's Secret, like fashion show or like the American Music Video Awards or the Super Bowl. We did those once live. And so there's moments where if you step to the right, you are blocking the light on the entire thing. Like you are ruining the whole shot. If you step to the left, you might get blown up by pyrotechnics. If you step forward, you might fall off of the stage that's going to rise 100 feet. Like these kinds of pressures,
Yeah.
you learn, okay, even amidst all of those pressures, I'm still there for my one count. I'm still in the moment. I'm still breathing and exhaling and alive and like emitting my transmission, even in the midst of those pressures. So that's a huge life metaphor of like, even when there's immense pressure, can you still stay connected to yourself? Can you still authentically show up? Can you actually also be powerful? Can you take those pressures and turn them into like fuel to to break free and to really like be alive. Uh, so that's been my journey with that, is that I've gotten to like quite an elite level of working with high pressure and still showing up without leaving myself behind.
Mm. What do you mean about that? Like, what would be an example of you leaving yourself behind?
Good question. Leaving yourself behind would mean there's different levels of that. That could mean freezing, going into full panic and not being able to do the show at all.
Mm.
That could be like, oh, there's too much pressure. I'm not going to, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And you're leaving yourself behind in that sense because let's just say in this instance, you were born to perform and that's your actual gift and your calling. And you're saying because there's too many pressures, you can't do it
Mm.
because of fear.
Yeah.
Another instance is showing up and doing that performance, but you're not really there. You're an autopilot, you're stiff, you're messing up the moves.
Mm.
You're I like to say, sometimes I call it zombie face. Like when people's faces are just like blank, no aliveness. It's like when you're doing a move, like it comes to your body, it goes out through your face. Like, but if you're in autopilot, it's just like you're just kind of going through the moves and there is no I am presence in them. Your soul isn't in what you're doing. And when you're feeling the contraction of that pressure, if you leave yourself behind, you can't be in the moment. Your soul can't be in your movements. You're not in your body. And
Yeah.
so that's what I mean by leave yourself behind.
Yeah. Diving into deeper in terms of the root cause, because that's where I love to venture. What I'm feeling into is that instead of being down here, I'm actually in here. That's personal experience as well. Like whenever I'm leaving myself behind, I'm up here. I'm in fear mode. Fear is causing me anxiety. Like, yeah, because I have this step to make. I have this, and I'm just too up here. So I'm losing my authenticity in the moment. I'm not allowing myself to fully express my truth, right? How I feel. It's like, whoa. So, like, first, how has that shown up for you? That fear and how what is that process that or the practice that you have that really has helped you anchor back into like my truth in my body in this very moment, in this I am presence?
Yes. So that has shown up for me not on stage. It doesn't
Mm.
show up for me on stage. It's like that's the first place that I've been initiated to. To
Yeah.
me, that fear showed up for me when I was dancing in front of one person, intimate.
Mm.
That was where it showed up. I was like, oh God, okay. Like I remember I had to just breathe in front of someone and my whole face was stuck. Like it was like literally, I don't know what I looked like, but it was it was so tight. I had never experienced that kind of atrophy in my expression before that was brought on by a new environment of performing or literally just being in close proximity and being asked to breathe and be authentic and in my body in
Mm.
front of someone. Out doing any moves, can you just be here and let your breath move through your body and be seen in that process? So that was where it started for me, and that actually opened up a whole realm of my work where it's like, okay, you can perform on stage, that's one, but
Mhm.
now can you have that same level of power and embodiment in your transmission in front of just one other person? Um, and so for me, what helped, like a practice or what I use to be in your body, be in your I am presence, be in your authentic expression in front of one person was reconnecting to my sexuality
Mm.
and the truth inside of my sexuality, of like sexuality is really at the root, is the exchange of your authentic self.
Mm,
And being like, it's like sexuality, the exchange of your sexuality can be nourishing or it
mm,
can be surface, it can be deep or it can be, shallow. And that just depends on how deep you're allowing yourself to be touched by life, by the moment, and how much of that truth that you're experiencing in your body can you allow to be visible. And when you allow it to be visible and you express it, it's you're sharing that with someone else. And that's why it's so intimate. That's why it can be so confronting, because you really are getting like naked, like on a soul level.
mm,
And when you
mm.
naked on a soul level, you can get naked on a soul level anywhere.
It's so interesting to me that it it's it's not the because it's interesting because a lot of people maybe it's the opposite. Like stage fright is a big fear for a lot of people because you're seen on a wider level, let's say, versus one single person. And it's it really anchors back what you're mentioning, like to the fact I think that a lot of women are disconnected not only from their bodies, upping choosing to live up here a lot of the time, but disconnected from their sexual energy and not perhaps realizing that's where our power lies. And for me, I know a big practice has been like mirror work, washing me actually physically naked, like self-pleasure practices, like getting really intimate first with myself, because I know it's like, man, if I wasn't able to be intimate fully and fully my authentic self with another, like there's something that I have to work on here. So it's beautiful that you have that practice. And I want to dive now into this exact conversation. Um, and I think this is going to trickle into what you share and offer now to the world. How, what for for you, this journey from natural dancer, being like a performer in front of like millions of crowds, to noticing there is a blockage and a contraction in intimate performance, let's say with one-on-one. Can you share a little bit about that journey for you and what shifted in you and the Tamina that you are now versus before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everyone talks about that. I'm like, who is this Tamina now? It's like they can see that it's the same, but they're like, but you seem so drastically different. Because before it was all about appearance.
Mm,
And now they're meeting like the deeper me in how I relate to others because I'm able to share my emotional truth, my sensual truth, like how I'm feeling in my body. So, anyways, I want to dive into like how did that shift happen for me? It's funny because a lot of times I see there's so many places I can go with this because it's so much more subtle than one would imagine. Because even as the answer's coming up to me and I'm feeling it in my body, I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So when I work with women, the first thing I get them to do is to change their whole orientation of meaning the world from the outside in to the inside out.
mm,
And so it's so subtle because you literally have to be comfortable being with yourself and your breath and being with all of the emotions that come up in that moment of being uncomfortable. What's happening next? Where is this going? What is it supposed to mean? Like all of the thought processes that come with being with your breath and like water that like makes a groove in the stone, it's like your breath starts to like make grooves in the stones of your body that allow for more water to move through your body so you can feel more of your body from the inside out. Like your pleasure starts to expand, and then you make more room for the expression of your pleasure. And then all of a sudden, it gets bigger and bigger. And then, it starts to burst from within you. And then it's like, then you become more comfortable with those bursts of creative impulse and pleasure and rawness and truth being seen by yourself and others.
Mm.
So my personal journey was about dance started to become a spiritual practice. It became less about performing and more about what's alive inside of me, my emotions. Like I learned about the chakras. This feels so long ago. I'm like, I remember the time and I didn't know what the chakras were. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what's this? How am I going to teach this? I don't know what this is. But then it became my mission of like, okay, I am going to ensure there's a clear channel through all of my chakras, that I'm connected to my root, my sacral, my solar plexus, my heart, my throat, like everything. It became about, can I become a clear channel?
Mhm.
And then my journey became about, can I dance with somebody else? And that led me to partner dancing, and embodying the masculine. Actually, this came actually later, but as an extension to that, I started to then embody both the masculine and feminine principles in this partner dance. And I feel like that's what was my next level of integrating my sexuality, was embracing my masculine energy and my inclination and my strength in the masculine energy. Like
Can we
as
dive into that?
yeah.
Can we dive into that? Because this is what I'm trying to communicate to with the women I work with. It's not about all like softening and opening. There's a place for your feminine energy and being receptive. It's for a lot of women I work with that are empath and have a tendency to people please and they're kind of leaking their energy. It's like we got to build some masculine energy here, the empowered masculine. So dive deeper if you want into this aspect that shifted things for you. What
Yeah.
about the masculine energy?
Yeah, it's like, okay. So as a being, I am masculine inclined. I'm very clear with my directions. I'm very sure in myself. I have a very strong container, right? And I think at one point I've shamed that, like in the journey of like coming into my in tune with my spiritual self and integrating my sexuality. It was like, oh, I'm not like feminine. I'm not feminine enough, or like I'm not like one of those usual like soft damsel in distress, like feminine women, and trying to be that for a time. But like, okay, I need to like develop my feminine. And I was like, actually, I need to embrace my masculine. I need to be like, I am very strong, my masculine. I have a big cock and
Say it.
enjoy it, like really integrating that and like owning my energy. That to me was probably the biggest aspect that opened my feminine. And my feminine actually was always a lie. It was literally just my masculine that needed to be embraced in order to let out more of a raw, like authentic, like unfiltered, like very powerful stream of my soul.
Mm.
And then it could be messy. It could be, oh, like rapture. It could be anything because I was like, I've got myself.
Yes. Yes. Can we pause here? You're literally communicating. Be your own safe container. You don't need somebody else. Don't wait for somebody else to be that safe container for you. Like that wholeness within you, that ability to be intimate with life, with another partner, with the world watching you, whoever, it really comes down to do you trust you? Right? To be in your authenticity. I love it that you're mentioning this like rah, rah, rah. And for those that are not familiar with masculine and feminine principles, it's like I like to see like the masculine energy as the sky, the holding container, just like the white canvas, and the feminine energy is the fucking nature. She's just everything. One time she's like more subtle and there's like a nice breeze, and another time she's like, whoa, takes you for a ride. Like, are you able to hold that for yourself? Shit. And it's interesting for your story. It sounds like you were able to embody everything on stage in front of millions, staying with that integrity, that authenticity. But then it's like when that's one person, then it's like, whoa, something in you was like,
Yeah. But
right?
also on stage, honestly, before that masculine feminine integration, there was still a layer of holding back. So
Mm,
it's like once on one, I could unlock that. It
mm,
actually amplified my reach and my potency of my transmission on stage.
oh,
Like to, yeah, to give it a tangible thing, I wouldn't have been called back on the road on tour without that. So imagine you're on tour, you're doing it, and you might not get called. Like I went through a big awakening in my craft,
mm,
and I wouldn't have been called back without that. It was like there was a clear like Tamina's Tamina 2.0. Like Tamina's grown, she's evolved, she's expanded. Um, and that was from this work of coming into integrating my masculine and feminine energy and being able to have an I am clear, authentic transmission of myself in front of one person.
mm. It was the unlocking. Wow. And during that awakening with the intimate performance, let's say, the supportive practice, if I understand, was your own performance with yourself and how comfortable you are with being with yourself and in your sensuality and whatever's coming up for you.
Yes, expressing from the inside out, including from your pussy, from your womb, from your heart, from your throat. Like those are the four feminine gates that I predominantly work with in my work. And it's like when you can do that, it's like you are literally expressing from the depths of your soul, like from all places, the tender heart, the courageous heart, like the womb, the creative space, the pussy, the fierce truth, the raw, the activation, the turn on, like everything. There's the light and the dark. It's just like if you can allow the free flowing expression from these channels, you will be able to share yourself truthfully and fully with the world.
Yeah. I'm feeling this and I'm being like, yes, yes, this is great. I'm also feeling into, again, the listeners out there that are part of my network that are like, there's a lot of them have a lot of fear. And it's not only them, I think it's a lot of women that see so much and feel so much shame around anything, even the word they're barely hearing pussy, and they're like, oh my gosh. Like there's so many things that we've been conditioned to as women to kind of shame and shun. So in terms of this like beautiful self-exploration and self-expression journey of like unlocking all these wisdom centers, where would you say is like the one place a woman could start on her journey, given your own journey? And knowing everyone is different, but a simple practice that a woman can do to just start on this journey and see how it unfolds for her.
Well, the first thing I always teach people is to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth.
Mm,
Because when you exhale out of your mouth, there's a softening that happens into your body. And also, there's like an arising of the feminine wisdom of how you're feeling inside that comes out through that exhale. And you can tell a lot by the quality of your exhale. Um, are you withholding? Are you forcing? Are you flowing? So, for instance, sometimes people will go,
yeah.
that is a butthole. That's tight.
If you can't see her, her mouth is like her lips are super, super, super close. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Right. And then there's also the right, that's like force, like this, like forcing of your expression. And then there's the flowing, the relaxing of the expression from the inside out.
Mm,
So that is probably one of the most quintessential practices that I teach is like, can you allow for that constant flowing stream of expression from inside of you to emerge outside of you
mm.
into the world? And then that will grow. Like then you'll start to like breathe with your body, and then you'll add more layers as the water makes more grooves in the rock.
I like that visual a lot. For those that are visual out there, it's just like imagining water. Again, the feminine principle is this water ever flowing, ever changing, different shapes. But I love it that it's so simple. Again, I'm all about simple practices because everybody has already so many things to do. It's this one simple tool in very self-observatory, compassionate way. It's like, yeah, maybe your breath is like this, like you're really tight and you're not really exhaling. It's like, well, let's start there. Let's see where the groove is at. Let's see where the blockage is at. The anus is going to hold something in. I love it. All right, I want to shift gears and speak about all the beautiful creations that you brought into life. Pussy Church, Shakti Dancer. I'm going to let you kind of roll with whichever one you feel called to sharing about because they're amazing in all their rights. So, what has been the creations that you're so excited to continue sharing with the world and that you're already sharing?
Yeah, well, I want to start with Pussy Church because I love that you mentioned how like pussy could be so triggering for people. Because I always hear it all the time. It's like it's the two sides of the coin. It's triggering, but because it's triggering, people are also like intrigued. Like, what is it? Like it touches on something that like it's like, a little arousal on that. And that name was intentional of like what has been separate, sexuality and sacredness. We're bringing them back home into wholeness. Like the church is a place to remember your wholeness, to remember your divinity. And for so long, sexuality has been left out of the equation. And that's why humans have been separate from their creative power, their ability to enjoy their lives and to create lives that amplify their joy and multiply their joy. Like there is a sexual nature even in the multiplication of your joy, like creative principle. So inside of Pussy Church, we come back home to the body, to the sex, to your sexuality as one, sacred, and as like essential to being a healthy, happy, thriving human who's fully expressed and no longer in the constraints of living a life that doesn't actually serve your ultimate evolution.
Mm.
So yeah, Pussy Church is there. I love that we do it once a month online and once a month in person. Last month we did like an abundance ritual where we made it rain with money and got ourselves to really come into the place of like we created money. We're not slaves to money,
Mm.
like receive the currency of your own creation. Like you're putting out into the world. Do you let it serve you back?
Reciprocity. Oof. There's a lot there. There's a lot to be said in that. And I want to touch upon you said something about humans reclaiming their power in their sexuality, specifically at women, specifically women, right? And again, this ties back to the shame. It's like we are severing, and I'm all about empowerment. Everything that I teach and share is empowerment, empowerment, because I really believe, speaking to women here, like a lot of us have been giving our power away. And where's our power? It's our energy. And part of that energy and our energy is Shakti. It's our life force energy, right? So this could be a nice segue to share about Shakti dancer and just the word Shakti, because some people out there know what it is, some people don't. what does it mean to you, and how have you created Shakti dancer? Like, where does it come from? Like dance, performance, the masculine, feminine energy principles, like everything, I guess, from your journey.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. To me, Shakti dancer is one that dances with life force, like dances with the divine, is a channel of the divine through their movements. They literally they bring more of the divinity into the 3D, into form through their dancing, which inspires and awakens others in response to that. But first, it's for you first. It's your personal evolution by allowing life force to flow through you that you're dancing. So Shakti dancer is essentially a culmination of like all the stages of my relationships with dance that I've had throughout my journey. You know, the stage performance, and then the stage performance becoming deeper, becoming a transmission. Like, okay, what's inside of dance? What makes one dance with the divine? Like, what are the elements of that? And so we go into emotional alchemy. You know, like, can you take in the emotional truth of the moment and let yourself feel it, live it, transform it, express it, become a beacon, a vehicle for emotional truth to be embodied? Like, that's what we go into. And then the other one is theater, like archetypal embodiment. Like, there's so many faces of the feminine and of us. And not as an alter ego. I'm so not about alter egos because to me, that's like dissociation and separation. When no, we want wholeness. So it's like you are all of those things and none. Like, which one are you going to utilize to bring out the the most like alive expression of what's true in the moment.
Mm.
And then also you also learn like, okay, my favorite part of the journey is like performing in front of somebody, like in an intimate performance setting where it's like everything that you've uncovered in becoming an instrument that channels and dances with the divine, can you now share that in the moment with someone?
Yeah, and this is where the power of being witnessed and seen, right? It's just like, and this is where I can see maybe the contraction come in. But at the end, it's like you're no medicine to anyone if you keep it for yourself. Like I truly believe like your gifts are here to cultivate or for you to get really comfortable and accept them, for you to share them, right? And be medicine for others. And I think this is what ties back to the I am presence. Like you are healing in your presence. But if you shame and deny parts of yourself, such as, let's say, archetypes, the lover, the Kali ferocious part, the one that's just like, this is like ego slaying and this is not serving me anymore, the wild woman aspect, being like raw and authentic. Right? If you're not allowing yourself to show up that way in your truth, then you're not allowing anybody else. That's why we stay in judgment, right? I think judgment is the opposite of love. It's not fear, it's judgment. So how can we stop judging ourselves and really come into this space of like, I accept what is rising right now, whether that's wrath, anger, grief, joy, bliss, ecstasy, orgasm, allow it to surge up. And I think that at that point, it's like that's where the shift happens. But I love it that you're taking it to the next level, being like, cool, cool, you're embodying it, you're feeling it. Now let's just add somebody to witness it. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, because it integrates it. It takes it from our practice space into the world. It's the bridge into taking what you've learned in this container out into the world. And that's the most important thing for me. Like, we can't just be singing in the shower and being like, that's it. Like, you've got to like get that microphone, get on,
Yeah.
share it. And it's medicine, like you said. And also, it kills us slowly when we don't share and express our gifts. Like, we die slowly inside. Like, You feel it. Mhm.
That's that's what I feel into when I say unfulfilled life. I use that a lot in the wording for a lot of what I share. It's like we, as women especially, just long to connect and love and share that. And it's beautiful, right? And be of service too, in devotion to a higher cause and whatnot. But then we realize, like we question, it's like, but I feel unfulfilled. And on the outside, you see these women and they have everything, right? So it's such a deep questioning for me. It's like, what is the missing piece? Right? And it's everything I think we're touching upon today. That is the missing piece, ladies. It's not about you getting all like worried about all the world state, because I'm hearing that a lot. It's like I'm so mad and like sad and disappointed in Trump, in all the politics, like all this game going on. And I'm like, whoa. Like I really had to sit with that and be like, there's too much leaking happening. There's too much external like action going on or like fear going out there versus like, well, what is my part that I'm playing in this? And how can I be that channel, that vehicle, that beacon of hope and light and love? And it's bringing it back. It's bringing it back in here. It's bringing back like, how have I disconnected? How am I fearful of myself, of my own power? Shit.
That like approaching life from that inside out place, like is the happiness, is the liberation, is the joy, is the create, the like agency to create a life that you can actually be fed by. It's like you won't be fed by that outside in, all of those influences. That's contraction. That's literally contraction. So if you want to rise and create a life that as you exhale and feel ecstasy and be like, oh my gosh, yes, I love this life. Like it comes from you becoming the transmission of like that thing inside of you that's here for you to learn. What is it that you're here to express?
Mm. Yeah, I love that. Just a curiosity here. Mm. I had a question that was coming through. Mm. Mm. Have you ever felt in your journey a moment where you felt selfish and that you felt, oh, this is, it's selfish of me to do this or to feel this way or to give me this? Because I'm saying that because a lot of the women, at least in my network, there's a deep guilt as well. Like guilt and shame and fear, those three energies that keep us stuck. Guilt is a huge one. It's like, well, why would I take care of me when everybody else needs help? So I want to speak to this belief, right? And seeing how that played out perhaps in your life, or maybe it didn't.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that forth. It's been coming up a lot lately in a slightly different word. Like the word for me is like conceited and like full of yourself, but it's the same, it's the same vein because I remember a quote that my husband once said to me. He said something like, because I was like, I'm not a people pleaser. And people like sometimes it's like, I just wish you would like, can you like please me a little more? It's like I because um I'm not afraid of being selfish because I know at the end of the day when I'm truthful with you, you receive so much more than what you think me abandoning myself and being depleted and guilty and small. You're not going to get anything from a small person who has nothing to give and has no worth, no self worth. So, like that illusion of thinking that being selfish makes you a bad person is a trap because the person is wanting to show up for them, that person who's saying you're selfish, they want you to have something to give to them. And when you're empty, you literally have nothing, nothing to give. And for me, the themes of being conceited or full of myself, or you think that you're better than me. I look at that sometimes. I'm like, do I? Because I know with my I am presence, it's quite a large presence, right? And some people could take it that way. And I've played that route of, okay, I'm just gonna like stay in the background scenes and let like everyone collaboratively do their thing. And I'm just gonna watch because I'm not the center of attention. I'm not gonna be that. And I realized like the times that I did that, the dynamic um, blew up. It fell apart. Because why? They wanted more of me. They wanted me to step forward. They wanted me to come in the center. So, what I learned from that is like the world wants you to be full of yourself because being full of yourself is loving yourself. It's being the representation of the divine, what you are here to be. And when you take a back seat, the world asks, is like looking for you. Like, where are you?
Something just, sorry, something just went. I think I understand why everybody hates Trump. I want to bring this politically, but like, holy shit. Can we
Say
just, can we just like pause, anybody listening, and listen to what Tamina just said? Like, listen to it again. To all the women that have a tendency to people please, and that's a lot. You cannot give from an empty cup. And actually, the world wants more of you, and their projection, their hate is actually because they are not able to step up and be their fullest self. They are not connected with their authenticity, so they reject yours. Mm.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. So I've been working with the magic of being conceited and like owning it and being like, yes, so full of myself, like dripping with divinity. Like, yes, yes. That's the gift. And a friend asked me the other day, like, Tamina, how did you like own that you are like a high priestess now and that you are in a modern mystery school leader? And I was like, you know what? I just like let myself be conceited. Like, if you're conceited, if you were to be conceited, what kind of mantle would you give yourself? What title would you give yourself with the full permission to be as conceited and full of yourself as you could possibly be? That's your title. That's your mantle. That's your purpose in the world. Own it.
Mm. Mm. It's 11:11. Let me just pause right there, being like, magic is happening right now in our words and what we're weaving. So thank you, sister. Yeah, owning everything. And I think really this speaks to like root chakra, like I belong here. I have a purpose here on earth. And that's the opposite of like, I'm a small person, I am powerless, I have nothing to give and share. So I'm just gonna follow everybody around and be a little puppet. Like it gets me fired up right now. It's just like, fuck. But yeah, thank you for being you and for showing up as you. Because you're literally healing others and letting them know you too have your own crown. Fuck.
I love seeing the glimmer of all the crowns in the room. It's just, ah,
And again, I can take this in so many levels. I'm going to close this off because I want to honor our time. We can have the discussions, but it's this sense of it's bringing in the sister wound as well of like comparing because I felt that too in other women, like this comparison, this competition. And I'm just like, shit. Like, we are not here to be competing against each other. We got to come together and realize you got a crown and I got a crown. And you are no more worthy or more deserving of that crown than me because that's your crown to own. I'm not here to put it on you, neither is your husband. You are there to put it on you. And I have my own crown. So it's like, can we, again, like claim our queendom? Like, I'm here for me. And as I do me so well, I'm magnetizing the life I desire, the partner that's right for me. I'm creating a ripple effect in my movement of my just emanating this I am presence. It's just like shit. It's liberating in itself. So, last question for you. It's like if you were on your deathbed right now and you're looking back at your life and you're like, like, what would inform you that you lived fully in your divine expression? Like, what would be the legacy that you want to leave behind?
Oh, the word that keeps coming up is that like we could all be turned on by each other, by our magic, by our life, by our relationships, that we weren't afraid of the sensation of turn on and arousal, and that we could see it as a signal of the divine is here and it's coming through me, and we get to share it. And that's blessing.
Mm, shit, shit. So being turned on by life. I was turned on by life. Now I can go.
Mm.
I love it. All right. So what is coming up the pipeline for you and everything you're creating and everything you're sharing with this world? Let us know what is coming up, and I'll put all the links in the description.
Okay, yeah. So Pussy Church is happening twice a month, one online, one in person. The next Shakti Dancer training is happening in Ottawa starting April 15th. And I've actually decided to do more Shakti Dancer trainings in Toronto. There's going to be three more, I think, I'm going to do because each curriculum is going to be a different focus. One's on emotional alchemy, the other one's on aliveness, other one's on archetypal role play, and the other one is on choreography transmission. And I'm going to do an immersive theater ritual in Toronto where you get to actually walk a labyrinth and meet different facets of the feminine and be initiated into your creative power, your I am presence by experiencing the transmission of the priestesses who are sharing their healing arts in a theatrical, but I like to believe that the fantasy realm is actually the reality of what we actually want to be living. So we're integrating that through art to be like, yeah, fantasies are real. It's just you have to create it and embody it. And that's what you do in this experience.
I love it. I'm activated. For the people in Ottawa, what is the thematic going to be for Shakti Dancer coming up April 15th?
Good question. I'm meeting the people who are enrolling and I'm choosing, and then I'm going to share it more broadly. But right now, I'm oscillating between archetypal embodiment and choreography transmission.
Okay. Okay. I love it that you're being intuitively guided and like reaching out for what is the pulse? Like what does the community need? Hey, what's that calling? Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right.
Oh,
And yes, tell me.
coming soon, just to leave with a little drop, is there is a cock church coming.
For our male friends, this is literally what I've been waiting for. It's like the women rising, and then like when women rise, men are gonna rise too. Like it's inevitable. So thank you for letting us know. For people that are interested, because I do have, as I've heard, a male population that's listening. Where can people just get a hold of you if they want more information?
Yeah, the best and easiest way is to just send me a DM on Instagram at Tamina Paris. Easiest way. I will give you the link to go to Shakti Dancer. I do also have a website, taminaparis.com.
I'll link those all up. Can we just continue talking forever? Ladies and gentlemen, because I think this conversation serves for any sex, any genders, however you identify. Just listen to this again. Listen to what Tamina's transmission is. This was juicy. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be in your presence, even virtually, and meeting you, having met you in person. You're a beautiful soul, and thank you so much for what you do for humanity.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for creating such an enjoyable conversational podcast experience and for being willing to shape the experience around what's alive and what like tickles the sacral and what turns me on and you on and the world on. I can feel you really riding that pulse and cultivating the conversation to truly serve. So
Mm.
that is your magic as well. And I want to recognize you in that. So thank you.
Thanks. I received that. I received. All right, guys, this is it. Oh, this has been a pleasure. And until the other episode, thank you. Have a beautiful day. Thanks, Tamina.